Hello everyone, welcome to today's editorial analysis of the day. The initiative is powered by Apti Plus. This is an initiative of Apti Plus powered by ISCAM. Now, as you know that we analyze the news of the day from the Hindu as well as from the Indian Express. Basically, we are more concerned into the important editorials of the day that is relevant for your mains, pre, case studies and essays. Now, moving ahead. So the editorial which is there in the today's newspaper, basically we like in a Hindu and an Indian Express. So if you talk about the Hindu, we have two important editorial. The first being from the future of parliamentarian democracy. See, this is written by Mr. M.K. Narayanan. He was the former national security advisor. So he basically talks about the figure of the recent Lok Sabha election in 2019 and how the government can play a pivotal role in the inclusive growth of the nation. And it also talks about some of the opposition and the role of opposition, the proactiveness of the opposition in the democracy party. See, being a democratic country, the point which is being raised in recent time is that opposition is not strong enough to raise the concern of the country. It has been narrowed down to a numbers so that they cannot come up to with any of the formal conclusion ki what we can do. So they are not strong enough to come up to raise their questions. But despite the fact, they have to play a proactive role. Apart from that, the other important editorial which is there in the Hindu is the state of the Indian prisons. This editorial basically talk about the NCRB, the National Crime Record Bureau, the report which is being published this time in the April 2019. So how that report was not taken into the backdraw, into the silent mode. It was neglected because of the election in 2019, the recent Lok Sabha election. Okay, so it was taken into the backdrop. Now, if you talk about the editorial which is there in the Indian Express, see this editorial, the revisiting of the emergency. This is basically by the Komi Kapoor. She talks about the 44th anniversary of, the anniversary actually. This would be like 44th year ago. There was an emergency which was imposed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of the country at that point of time. And this talks about what lesson need to be learned. Being a democratic country, it was an authoritarian decision. It wasn't just like an authoritarianism which was promoting. Okay, so we don't want to promote autocracy in the country. Now the next editorial which is reported in the Indian Express basically talks about the emergency which was there, the influence of the foreign countries. So again, that not important. You can revisit this editorial. You can have an idea. This won't contribute much to your examination as such. So we'll be focusing our editorial in the Hindu itself. But just see, I'm just talking about this particular editorial which is there in the Indian Express. Fine, this is there in the Indian Express. So you can read this. This talks about what was the mistake committed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi when she was a prime minister. No, she has not taken into the trust of her council of minister as well. CUM, the council of ministers was not taken into the trust. So no, there are major things to be learned considering India being the largest democracy in the world. So you can definitely read this out. Now, moving back to our concern editorial of the day, that is the state of the prison. Okay, so friends, this editorial is very important. I mean, this could be helpful for your paper in paper 1. If you talk about the paper 1, that is the social issues. And this could be again important for the case studies. Okay, this could be important for the case study as well. So what I'll do, I'll write it here so that you do not get confused. So this is again important for the case study for the paper 4, that is the ethics in general studies. Okay, so in this editorial, Mrinal Sharma, she is an advisor to the Amnesty International India. See, Amnesty is basically working hard for the for promoting to promote the prisoners' life. Human right activists. They're basically working for the human right in the world, across the world. It's a very big chain organization. So in this editorial, she talks about. We'll get into the details. As you know, we analyze the editorial in a synchronological order, in the way you understand it well. Okay, the hierarchy of the content would be somewhere that it makes you understand the editorial easily. So now moving ahead. So when it talks about this, why this editorial come to in the news and what is the picture all about? In a bigger picture, we'll look into it. So this talks about the editorial. The Mrinal Sharma. She talks about the prisoners report which was there in 2016. The report named the prisoners statics in India 2016, that was published, that was come into the news, that was published by the NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau, in 2019, April 2019, and that was largely unnoticed by the government because the government was not there. There was model code of conduct which was in the country, and country was in the election phase. ठीक है, हमारी the country was election में चल रहे थे हम, तो that is why it has completely been neglected. और कल के न्यूज़पेपर में आपने पढ़ा था कि श्री गुलाम नबी आज़ाद, the senior leader of the Congress, he has just raised the concern कि जो NCRB की report है, what about that? Why the government is not talking about the NCRB report? So this has again come on the background of that particular news as well. So you need to understand. See, this is very important. Okay. Now, before starting, what exactly the report is all about, you definitely need to understand what is NCRB. What this is basically talking about. See, NCRB is an attached office of Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay. ये काम करता है गृह मंत्रालय के अंदर, Ministry of Home Affairs, and it was established in 1986. Okay, way back in 1986, and it was basically mandated, it was empowered to with Indian police with information technology solution. Okay, it's ITS, basically talk about ITS, information technological solution, and criminal intelligence, CI, talk about criminal intelligence, and to enable the force to make law come effectively. Now again, the National Crime Record Bureau is responsible for collecting the data and analyzing the crime, finding on the IPC, and the parameters, the defined line is on the IPC. The NCB get his headquarters situated at New Delhi. Again, if you were any of the examination, it can be asked somewhere in objective term, not in the civil services. Apart from that, any other competitive examination. So, and what exactly do it imparts training? It imparts training on the information technology and the fingerprint science. ठीक है, तो इंडियन पुलिस ऑफिसर जो IPS ऑफिसर्स होते हैं या अदर सर्विसेज के जो ऑफिसर्स होते हैं, जैसे ज़रूरत होती है उनके हिसाब से उनको इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड फिंगरप्रिंट की ट्रेनिंग भी देती है. Apart from that, the other important process or important publication which is being taken care by the NCRB is like they publish 4 reports basically. जो 4 रिपोर्ट हैं उसमें एक है क्राइम रिपोर्ट, दूसरा है प्रिजनर रिपोर्ट्स, तीसरा है एक्सीडेंटल डेथ एंड सुसाइड, और चौथा है फिंगरप्रिंट्स. ठीक है, सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज़. ठीक है, ये रिपोर्ट आई है इस बार, तो वी विल बी कंसर्निंग ऑन दिस. Now getting into the details of the report. Now just move ahead. आगे चलते हैं और देखते हैं क्या क्या है इस रिपोर्ट में. So what are the findings of the prisoner static report of 2016? Okay. So basically what it says, the report finds that at the end of 2016, 2016 के अंत तक क्या हुआ था, there was almost 4,33,000 people who were taken to the prison. ठीक है, and mostly है ना prison, और all of them in them 68%, उसमें से 68% of the people were under trial. You know who people are under trial? Under trial means ऐसे लोग जिनको जिस पे केस हुआ है, they are taken back to the custody, and again until and unless their case are resolved. ठीक है, उनकी केस जब तक रिजॉल्व नहीं होती है, they are put into the custody, they are put into the prison, and they people till that time are called under trial until they are convicted. ठीक है, so they are under trial. और पीपल, जैसे मैंने कहा कि और अंडर ट्रायल उसको भी कह सकते हैं कि पीपल हु हैव नॉट फाउंड गिल्टी येट ऑफ देयर क्राइम्स. ओके, सो दिस इज द बेसिक डेफिनेशन ऑफ अंडर ट्रायल. अगर किसी को समझने में दिक्कत हो तो दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट. उसके बाद जो देखा गया, द रिपोर्ट फाइंड्स दैट इंडिया इज द वर्ल्ड लार्जेस्ट कंट्री विच एकोमोडेट द मोस्ट नंबर ऑफ वर्ल्ड ट्रायल पॉपुलेशन. हमारे भारत में सबसे ज़्यादा अंडर ट्रायल की पॉपुलेशन है. क्यों है ऐसे ट्रायल, क्यों इतनी ज़्यादा है? बिकॉज सी, और मतलब उसके कारण मैं बताऊंगा अभी. और ये देखा गया है कि जो डिटेंशन है इज लेस देन, मतलब जो लोग रहते हैं वो लेस देन 6 months रहते हैं वहाँ पे. ठीक है, उसके बाद द प्रोसेस स्टार्ट्स. ठीक है, बिकॉज 90 days you have to start the process anywhere. Apart from that, it suggests that the high proportion of under trial in the overpopulation of the prison हो रहा है. ठीक है, बिकॉज एकोमोडेशन के लिए जगह नहीं है. तो ऐसे चीज़ों को कैसे बचा सकते हैं? क्यों ऐसी चीज़ें? देखो, अननेसेसरी अरेस्ट हो रहा है. ठीक है, बिकॉज until and unless what police is doing, in spite the fact कि वो अपने काम को अच्छे से निभाए, they are taking it to the account, they are taking the prisoners, the so called convicted are taken back into the prisons, और वहाँ से फिर वो केस के थ्रू अपनी चीज़ों को हैंडल करते हैं. सो यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा अननेसेसरी अरेस्ट है और इनएफेक्टिव लीगल एड्स ड्यूरिंग द रिमांड हियरिंग. ठीक है, ये भी कारण है जो कि सही और गलत को पहचानने में लोगों की कहीं हद तक मदद नहीं कर रही है, जिसकी वजह से पीपल आर जस्ट गोइंग बैक टू द प्रिजन एंड द नंबर ऑफ ट्रायल इज गोइंग टू गेटिंग इंक्रीज एंड इट्स अमाउंट टू समवेयर 68% ऑफ द टोटल prisoners. Okay, now the other important concern of that finding of the prisoner statics report talks about the mental health problem. So you see the unnatural death which has mounted, it has just doubled from 2015 to 2016. It has, like, from 115 it has come back to 231. So you can see how the mental illness, see the people who are under trial or who is convicted, they're a great sense of mental problem. They face a apex level of mental problems. So that has rise up to 150 to 231. I mean, it has doubled, just double the increase. And if we talk about the suicide rate among the prisons, because of the mental health, the people has committed the suicide, and that number has increased up to 28% of the total population, from 77 suicides in 2015 that has taken a toll of 102 in 2016. So these numbers I'm telling you because this will help you out to make a figure. This will, if I say the number has increased, you won't get it. So now this figures help you. You can directly, if you find any questions which is there in the basic examination, you can quote this. Please quote this. This will definitely help you and make your answers different from the other candidate as well. So these are the numbers. Just take into the account of the figures. Now moving ahead, what this report also finds that 6,013 individuals were mental illness were reported in the jail 2016. If you talk about in 2016, this number of the individuals were found to be with mental illness. They might have a previous illness, but I don't know. The report says कि whether the prisoners were diagnosed with a mental illness before or entering the prison is not known yet. ठीक है, so these make difficult to determine whether the prison's condition were worsened or declined, या उनकी कंडीशन पहले से खराब थी या वहां आने के बाद खराब हुई, क्योंकि still there is no level of mental level की जो parameters है, जो check है, that is not being inducted into any of the prison in the country. ठीक है, तो that again is a cause of concern. So the report also states that one mental health professional है, एक मेंटल हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल है, ओनली द वन, ओवर 21,650 प्रिजनर इन 2060. सी क्या होगा इस सिचुएशन में? अगेन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. a single person is monitoring the number of 21,650 prisoners. So आप देखो कि how situation is worst ना. और उसमें भी बात करें तो only 6 state, सिर्फ 6 state is there which have the the mental health professional, and only one union territories, only one UT. Okay, only one union territories that accommodate the psychologist or psychiatrist in the prison. And if you talk about the states, basically like Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh are the three states within the most prisoner of mental illness has been reported. ये तीन स्टेट हैं जहाँ पे the most number of prisoners, the largest number of prisoners have been reported, and this no doubt have the single psychiatry as well. और इन states में even do not have a single, एक भी लोग नहीं है. Okay, there's not a single person who can be there as a psychiatrist or single psychologist. Okay, now moving ahead. So what are the some important, see in this report we have find some important additional as well. Some important additional is there in 2016 report. So what is that addition is that the data on prisoner release. So the data on prisoner release is that the number of prisoners who are eligible for actual release, है ना, वो वैसे लोगों को हम रिलीज करते हैं 436A of the CRPC, that is called Criminal Code of Criminal Procedure, CRPC. So you don't need to understand this, you just understand this. Okay, तो 436A of the CRPC कहता है कि कौन एक्चुअली एलिजिबल है रिलीज होने के लिए. तो जैसे मैं थोड़ा सा बता दूं उसके बारे में, तो सेक्शन 146 है, अलाउज अंडर ट्रायल टू बी रिलीज्ड ऑन द प्रिजनल बॉन्ड, एक बॉन्ड पे रिलीज करते हैं इफ दे हैव अंडरगोन हाफ ऑफ देयर मैक्सिमम टर्म. ठीक है, अगर आधा से ज़्यादा मैक्सिमम टर्म ऑफ इम्प्रिजमेंट को उन्होंने पार कर लिया तो दे कैन बी अलाउड फॉर 436. ठीक है, और इसमें देखा गया फिगर, एक जो रिपोर्ट पब्लिश हुई उसमें बताया गया है कि 2016 में आउट ऑफ 1557 were found eligible for the release. ठीक है, on the section of 436, और इसमें almost 929 were released. See, again I'm telling, this figure is only important for you to help you understand, to get into the picture actually what I'm talking about. This might not be important for your exam as well. Okay, but just understand this. Now the research published by the Amnesty India found that the prisoners have the frequency of unaware of this section and unwilling to apply. लोगों को पता नहीं है about this section of 436A, और जागरूकता नहीं होने की वजह से people are not do not have a escape route. I'm not calling the escape route, actually they're not aware of their rights. Okay, और एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल काफ़ी प्रिजनर्स के राइट्स को दे वर्किंग ऑन दैट वर्ल्ड वाइड, तो काफ़ी बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. नाउ मूविंग अहेड, the editorial also talks about some of the shortfalls of the report. What are the shortfalls of the report? If you talk about the shortfall, तो this edition report has earlier version से अगर आप देखें तो कुछ चीज़ों को इन्होंने omit किया है. They have removed, they have omitted some of the things. तो जो सबसे बड़ी बात उभर के आई है कि भाई आप लोगों ने डेमोग्राफिक डिटेल्स नहीं दिया. इज दिस रिपोर्ट डज नॉट टॉक अबाउट द डेमोग्राफिक डिटेल्स. तो मोस्ट सिग्निफिकेंट शॉर्टफॉल ऑफ दिस रिपोर्ट इज द फेल्यूर टू इंक्लूड द डेमोग्राफिक डिटेल्स. ठीक है, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिटेल्स ऑफ द रिलीजन्स, द डिटेल्स ऑफ द कास्ट, द डिटेल्स ऑफ द स्टेटस ऑफ द प्रिजनर्स. सो दे हैव नॉट टेकन इनटू द अकाउंट ऑफ द शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट और शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब. स्टेटस ऑफ द प्रिजनर्स के बारे में नहीं बताया गया है. देखो, डेमोग्राफिक डिटेल्स इज वेरी क्रूशियल टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंडियाज प्रिजनर पॉपुलेशन. इट इज important to understand the India's prisoner population. Again, the information was inconsistent. ठीक है, मतलब वो last 20 years it was being maintained, last 20 सालों से वो maintain होता आ रहा था, और इस टाइम लाइक रिवीलिंग प्रॉब्लमेटिक ओवर प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द मुस्लिम, दलित, क्या क्या है, आदिवासी हैं, मुस्लिम्स हैं, दलित से कितने लोग हैं, वो कितने लोग अंडर ट्रायल्स हैं, इनकी फिगर हमें मिलती थी. बट द रिपोर्ट 2015 इंस्टेंस उन्होंने कहा है 15 के मुताबिक, अगर आप देखें पुराने वाले रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक, तो जो मुस्लिम, दलित और आदिवासी हैं, जो मुस्लिम एंड दलित एंड द आदिवासी अकाउंट फॉर 55% ऑफ द अंडर ट्रायल. दे अकाउंट फॉर 55% ऑफ द under trial. Okay, and even though they made up to the 50% of the convict population, under trial के साथ साथ 50% population उनकी ऐसी है जो convict में भी है. Okay, that are convicted as well. This is 50%. Now, if you talk about the total population of these three communities, ST, talk about the Dalits, the Adivasis, the Muslim, they account for 38%. They account for 38% of the total India's population. They account for 38% of the total population. Now, the report also finds that there is a rise in the number of people held from under administrative detention. ठीक है, from Jammu and Kashmir. वहाँ पे देखा गया है कि there is an increase of 300%. ठीक है, and 431 detainees has been in 2016 compared to 90 in 2015. जहाँ पे 2015 में 90 लोग थे, now the toll has increased to 431 and that mounts to 300% of the increase. So you can understand कि वहाँ पे administrative prevention detention के laws की वजह से इतने लोग को हमने ये findings आई है. ठीक है, this is the numbers. Now moving ahead, if we talk about what could be, what other findings are there in the report. So the reports also talks that 2016 में prison की जो statistics थी does not mention the visits of the prisoners. जितने लोग मिलने के लिए आए हैं prisoners से, we should talk about the non-official visits. ठीक है, typically that includes district magistrates, or you can go district collectors, judges, social worker and researchers. That is also not mentioned in this report. That need to be mentioned because कभी काफ़ी social initiatives भी दिए जाते हैं, तो that need to be figured it out. और दूसरी चीज़ें जो और shortfall है, it's like it is essential to uncover the torture, है ना, and other forms of ill treatment which is there, like to increase that transparency. देखो ज़रूरत, अब way forward क्या हो सकता है? What could be the way forward in this? What could be the way forward? What could be the way forward? So it could be like increasing the transparency. ज़रूरत है कि हम transparency को और increase करें. Balance the power of symmetry in the prisons. They should also be given a chance. देखो जहाँ पे education की बात की जाए या skill development की बात की जाए, why can't the government come with they can induce the initiative of skill development to the prisoners level as well. क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? People are still a good amount of people are there. तो हम उसको उनकी education qualification के level पे we can accommodate, we can increase their skill level. ठीक है, ताकि बाद में वो जब किसी ट्रायल से बाहर निकले तो they can come up with any of the employment solutions. ठीक है, तो गवर्नमेंट सीरियसली नीड टू थिंक अपॉन इट. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट जितनी भी रिपोर्ट्स में फाइंडिंग आए हैं उनकी अगर एक इन्फॉर्मेशन को इकट्ठा किया जाए, इफ यू जस्ट कंपाइल द इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड वी कैन फैसिलिटेट अ डायलॉग, वी कैन कम अप विद द पॉलिसीज टू इम्प्रूव द प्रिजनर्स, सो दैट वुड अगेन अ लैंडमार्क, that would again be a pivotal role by the government side to check into this. Because see, again I've told you the 68% of the population with the total of the arrested or the coming to the prisoners is under trial, like UTs. They are basically UTs, the under trial. So this is again a concern for the government as well. So this editorial was basically talking about this. So it's again a very important editorial by Mrinal Sharma. You can definitely read it out, and the important chunks and important points has been mentioned. You can find the details in the description as well, in the link below. And thank you for listening this, and I just ask you to subscribe the channel, like it, share it, comment it, and if you have any problem, just raise your queries. Thank you so much for listening to these videos. Keep your word and keep rocking.